pickup books helpful for beginners for learning how to talk to women?
So learning to talk to women really is, are you good at small talk? Are you good at creating conversations with random strangers whenever you bump into somebody randomly on the street? And if you meet women and you freeze up and don't know what to say, you need to focus on wherever you go, whether you're in an elevator, you're putting gas in your car, you're at the grocery store, you're hanging out socially. You want to get in the habit of striking up conversations, practicing small talk with strangers. And you do that by asking questions. Ask them the kind of questions they would enjoy answering. Be curious about other people. Because the reality is, when you think about the people that care about you the most, they want to know what's going on in your life. They want to know what you're into. They want to know what your hobbies and your interests are, what you've been doing, what you're doing for fun, how work is going, how things are with your kids or your family. They care about you. When people like you, they ask you personal questions. And when they don't ask you any personal questions because they don't care. And so that's the important thing. Get in the habit of practicing small talk with anybody and everybody you meet. If you only wait to improve your social skills when you see a pretty girl, and you're nervous around pretty girls, what's going to happen is you meet one, you're gonna freeze up, you're not going to know what to say, and you're going to look weird and awkward. I'm sure you've had plenty of dudes approach you because they like you, and then when it comes to opening their mouth and starting a conversation, you can tell like they're struggling. Mm-hmm. They're all up in their head, and they're going, oh shit, she's looking at me. What do I do? What do I say? She's going to think I'm boring. Mm-hmm. And you can see it, right? You can feel it.
Or you're so, like, with the book work, you're so, like, dependent on what the book is telling you. And then when you actually put it into action and you don't get the response you were expecting, you kind of freeze and you don't know what to do, which is the worst.
Yeah, so guys that say they need help or don't know how to talk to girls, mm-hmm. They just haven't practiced small talk. And everybody, as young as possible, should be reading How to Win Friends and Influence People, because there's a lot of great tips, and that stuff goes back over 100 years. It's timeless wisdom. And there's a lot of communication skills in there, the type of questions and things that you can do to practice small talk, because that's what flirting and talking to women is all about. Can you create conversations out of nothing with a complete random stranger? And the only way you're going to get good at it is you have to practice it. And that's why I've mentioned many times, especially when you're young, go work as a waiter or a bartender and do something where you have to interact with a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And then you get good at being inquisitive and asking people questions, because when you ask people questions, you make them feel like you care about them. And especially when it comes to women, if they feel like you care about her and you want to know about her and you're interested in her, she's going to know, like in Caroline's case, she's going to know that you want to know who she is as a human being, not that you're like, ooh, I just want to bang this hot Colombian. They're like, because at the end of the day, sex is a small part of a relationship. And if after the sex you can't stand the sound of her voice or you don't want to listen to anything she has to say, you shouldn't be dating her or being with her. You want to hang out with, because at the end of the day, if you're going to be with somebody, especially a long time or maybe a lifetime, your looks are going to fade. The skin's going to sag. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to be as beautiful as you were when you were younger. And so, therefore, you got to be with somebody that you actually enjoy listening to, and somebody who is interesting and has something to say that you actually want to listen to. So you have to practice the small talk. Anywhere and everywhere. In the elevator, old people, young people, anybody you see in the elevator, at the gas station, pretty girl, ugly girl, fat girls, doesn't matter. You're just talking to other human beings. And when you do that enough, when you've done that hundreds of times with hundreds of different strangers, and then just all of a sudden you turn around in a grocery store and you're like, holy shit, there's Caroline. You're like, hey, what are you doing? And you start asking her questions about what she's got on the conveyor belt. Wow, you got a lot of greens here. Are you making green juice? Do you juice? Mm-hmm. How'd you know? Well, because you got this giant pile of rabbit food on the conveyor belt. There's nothing magical or special about it. It's just be curious. Be curious about what she's buying. Be curious about what she's wearing. Maybe she's got some funky looking boots on. Ask her about her boots, where she got them. I've never seen those before. What possessed you to buy those? Did you get those as a gift for Christmas from a relative you didn't like?
Okay, don't make her feel bad about her boots.
I'm just kidding. But I remember in a mall years ago, there was a woman and she had like these knee-high boots. And I'd never seen them before, and they had like a cheetah pattern on them, and they were the funkiest looking boots I'd ever seen. I had to go up and talk to her just to find out about the boots. Yeah, she was cute, but I was like, what was the story behind the boots? Because it was interesting. But the boots were the opener. I used something in the environment because I was like, wow, I've never seen that before. Like Caroline, she's always walking around in workout stuff. So if I didn't know her, I'm like, are you going to the gym? Did you just come from the gym?
I get that question all the time. Do you just work out? I'm like, no.
It's the perfect opener. I get asked that a lot too because I'm usually in T-shirts and shorts, and I look like I'm about going to go work out. Mm-hmm. But you use what is in your environment to ask questions. So a lot of guys are obviously picking up on that. It's an easy opener for them.
That's true.
And then she can start talking. You can ask her about her workout routines, what type of things she does. Does she do cardio? Does she do free weights?
Yeah.
Does she kickbox? Is she into martial arts? Does she like to shoot guns? Shoot people?
You like shooting people? I do too.
Force on force training.